Okay, so setup-wise to me, the right-hand one now as your after, okay? Getting those shoulders now kind of over the toes a bit more. And again, when we do that, we don't just sort of pull the arms in and lean back, we sort of push the pelvis back a little bit. You still want that space. Of the first couple of days, there wasn't much gap between your hands there and your arm, but compared to this one here now, that's off your shoulder, because you can see the legs are a lot further away there, and you look a little bit more kind of tipped over there anyway, in fairness.
It looks a lot better.
Well, exactly. And the right hand one will see a lot better rotation. This one, because you can't really rotate, there's your backswing. Whereas this one here now, because you can rotate, there's your backswing.
Yeah.
Now, the club's going a little bit beyond parallel, just because you're used to obviously hinging the wrist so much, and that extra hinge is causing the face to get a little bit open, hence the slightly right shots, okay? We'd want that club face to be kind of in line with the left arm. So it's probably, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 degrees open, enough, because you've been fighting a hook. You almost sort of keep the face more open and do some things to help that ball from snap hooking left. So towards the end there, you're kind of getting that feeling there, and you'll kind of figure out where that club is, but at least that club kind of working up a little bit more. When you come back to the golf ball here now you're trying to come to the hands away in front, that ball just going off way to the right there. This one here now, because the club's going back down, we're able to release the club back to the golf ball. And again, a nice kind of full balance finish there on the left side. Yeah, a couple of shots are starting to go a bit more this way, but they're getting the launch up, you're getting your trajectory. They're looking more like golf shots, not kind of like glorified stingers and punch shots. You'd be great in the wind, but it's just when you're trying to land on greens that are getting a bit more like this now, you've got to land it 30 yards short of the green. So if you're playing into the 18 on the button, yes, the green's long then, it's just sort of sitting this way, but you've got basically the front part of the green to land on to not go too far to the back of the green. So if you're going into that green there, so if your ball is knuckle balling too far, and in some ways, I say a 7-iron going, the way it was going 200 yards was basically because you were hitting the goal with a 4-iron loft, or even less, because you were de-lofting it so much. When you were timing it good, it was all right. You kind of knew where the golf was going to go, but you never really knew it was going to go right or left, or a lot longer than you expected. So your kind of dispersion rate was kind of 50 yards from sort of far right, far left to top. And greens aren't that big. Okay, so we can just kind of get things a little bit more neutral, get that club sort of feeling it in terms of setup. You're a bit more kind of over those toes. You want your balance to be a bit more kind of heel and arch base there in the middle, not sort of on the balls of your feet tipping forward, okay? And then, as I say, the body rotates as the club goes back, there's the torso turning, and the arms, I do the lifting, get the arms up there. The wrists don't need to hinge quite so much. You can make a few swings, almost make it like there's no wrist at all. Because if you just swing to there, it would feel like there's no wrist in the swing at all, but the club's still got to 90 degrees, as you can see, to that lead arm, okay? So getting that club a little bit more, that'll take a bit of practice and play about with that, but focus on the main bit with the body and the arm
wrist,
movement.
a lot of it comes from that hockey swing.
Of course it does, it's a snap with the wrist.
And that's why, if you just see me play a year and a half ago, it was literally like
exactly
everywhere.
And that's what I say, you through your own sort of abilities with a stick in a ball, whether it be a hockey stick, a cricket bat or a golf club, whatever it may be, you can figure out ways to send it in that direction or in that direction or whatever. The problem is you kind of created a way that did that was counterintuitive, and when it didn't quite work, it was now, well, where's it going to go? And it stopped you actually getting the ball. I mean, this is why a lot of guys say, I can hit 7-iron, but you can't hit a driver, because the way they square the club face up with a 7, it don't work with the driver. You haven't got enough loft. So anything with a lack of loft, in terms of, I guess the tipping point for most is about 6 or 7-iron. Once you go into that low 30 loft range and you're de-lofting it half of that, the game becomes tough. We need loft in our hands to get the ball up in the air, okay? So better turn arms lifting, and then we can sort of release the club through. Getting to what we said at impact here now, we're kind of looking for, I'll get back a frame, come here. That impact there is that left arm on the, obviously the lead arm, the club and the arm's going to be all in a sort of straight line. Not straight line as in on that line, it will be down and that way, but visually, if I was up against a wall here, for example, my hands, lead arm, elbow, hands, and the club kind of on that line. Maybe the club a little bit back for that bit of shaft lean, but not where you had it before, kind of like so far forward and just driving the ball too low in some ways. So that kind of makes sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Very good, mate. Well done.